Hello, reception. So today we are going to be visiting Asia, I'm wondering whether any of you have visited places in Asia before, um, whether you have family or you have friends that might live in a country in Asia. Asia has 50 different countries, so that's quite a lot, and it's also the biggest continent on planet Earth. So the weather really changes depending on where you are. And when I was thinking about what we could learn about, there were just so many different things because it's such a big place. I have got this book here for today, which is perfect. It's called Introducing Asia, and it is a non-fiction book. So it's not a story. This book is an information book, and we're going to find out a little bit more about some different places in Asia. We're not going to be able to read it all because it would take too long, and I don't know whether the video would allow me to upload such a long book. But what I was thinking was, if we do get to see each other again in a few weeks, I will be able to bring this book in and we can read the pages we haven't been able to visit. I really like Asia. I've been lucky enough to visit 2 countries in Asia. One of them being Vietnam, which was a place that I would just love to go back to. So I'm excited to find out a little bit more. The reason I know that this is a non-fiction book is because it has one of these, a contents page, which is really good, because what it means is we don't actually have to read this book from the first page right through to the last page. We can pick and choose which pages we read. And this tells us what the headings are of each page, and then it gives you a page number. On the back of a non-fiction book, you sometimes get what's called an index page. And the index page is ordered alphabetically. So animals here are at the top because it begins with an A. And then you can have a look through and see if there's anything you want to find out about. And again, it's got the page number next to it. And something else that I love about this book, and you do get this in lots of different non-fiction books, is it has a glossary. A glossary is where it lists certain words that you might not know what they mean, and it tells you the meaning of that word. So that if you're reading it and you think, I've never heard of that, what is that? You can come to the back, see if the word's in there, and it explains what that word is. So I've picked out a few pages that I thought we could read today, and then hopefully from those pages you could go away and write a sentence about what you've learnt. You might want to make your own book about Asia, draw some pictures, and my class will know that I really love animals, so I wanted to start with the different animals that you might see in Asia. And look, here on the contents page, animals, and it's page 14, so I can just flip straight through to page 14. I don't need to read all the other pages. I can just flick through, and here we are. You can see the heading here, animals. So, many amazing animals live in Asia. Orangutans live in the rainforests on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. Komodo dragons live in Indonesia. They are the world's biggest lizards and can grow up to 3 meters long. So 3 meters is quite big. And they're a lizard, so it's a type of lizard. Komodo dragons only live on a few islands in Indonesia. So Indonesia is one of the countries in the continent of Asia, and you would only find them in that place and on islands in that place. And yeah, like it's quite a big animal, and it's hard for you to see here, but it's got one of these like forked tongues, so it's got its tongue sticking out there. I'm not too sure I'd want to meet a Komodo dragon without it being safely tucked away somewhere. I don't know. These boxes here, they share extra little snippets of information, sometimes facts, or tell us a little bit more. Sometimes we like to call these fact boxes. Giant pandas. Giant pandas live in south central China. They mostly eat bamboo. Bamboo's a plant. Giant pandas are very rare. Today there are only about 1,500 left in the wild, and that's because people keep chopping down the trees which are their home, that's their habitat. And once their homes are gone and they've got nowhere to go, it's hard for them to survive, which is really, really sad. So we've learnt a little bit about the animals that you might find in Asia. And so we said orangutans, Komodo dragons, and pandas. And you might be able to find out if there's any more animals that live in Asia, any other different animals that you could find about. There's lots and lots. So the other one that I was going to have a look at today was famous places. And that, is on page 6. Here we go, look. Some famous places. It's got the heading at the top. You might know this place. Some of you might already be able to say what that place is called. And this one here. So, Asia has many famous places. Some are very old. The Taj Mahal in India was built more than 400 years ago. The Emperor of India built it as a tomb for his wife. So it's very special. The beautiful Taj Mahal is built from white marble. And then this building here is called the Burj Khalifa. And this building, some famous places are very modern. So this is very old, the Taj Mahal. This is very new. It's a very new building. The Burj Khalifa is in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, was opened in 2010. So 10 years ago. So it's only 10 years old. It is almost 830 meters. I wanted to show you what a meter looked like on the camera, but it's really hard for me to fit it in. But a meter's quite big. And we'll be thinking about meters when we think about being 2 meters apart from each other. But it's 830. And it's the tallest building in the world. So this building here is the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. It's taller than the Shard that we have in our city of London. So it is very, very tall. I'm actually not sure how tall the Shard is, but maybe some of you could find that out. So let's have a look at another page. I wanted us to have a little look at culture and sport. So page 22. I do enjoy my sport. So let's see what kind of sport they like to play in Asia. So page 22, culture and sport. Many colourful festivals take place across Asia. Each spring, Japanese people celebrate when the cherry trees blossom. They visit parks to see the cherry trees, light lanterns, and have picnics under the trees. These people in Japan are enjoying the beautiful cherry blossoms, so people go to see the beautiful blossom on the tree. Many people play cricket in India and in Pakistan. Many sports are played in Asia. Cricket is very popular in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Martial arts such as judo and kung fu are common in Japan, China, North and South Korea. And under our movement and mindfulness section on the blog today, I've put a little video of some children doing Tai Chi, which is exercise, but it's also a way of calming your mind, so it's good for mindfulness. So have a little look at that video, because that's another form of exercise that people use in different parts of Asia. We've looked at sport, we've looked at famous places, we've looked at animals, and we were going to have a look at the weather, which is page 12. Here we go. You can see here that some of the words stand out. That means that they're going to be in the glossary to explain what they are. Weather. Asia is so big that it has a wide range of weather. There are rainforests in Southeast Asia. They lie around the equator, where it is always hot and wet. In the far north of Russia, it is freezing cold all year round. It is so cold in Siberia, Russia, that the ground is always frozen. Now, the equator is an imaginary line that goes all the way around the earth, right in the middle. And if you're a country that sits around the equator, it's usually very hot and it's wet. Each year, monsoon winds bring heavy rains to countries such as India. Some parts of Asia are hit by fierce storms called typhoons. They can cause flooding that can wash away people's homes and crops. So these monsoons and typhoons can be very, very dangerous. The weather can be so severe that it cause lots of damage to people's homes and to people's crops, the things that they're growing so that they can eat them. and typhoons cause terrible damage in the country of the Philippines, which is a small country in Asia. And then the last one that I wanted to read to you is on page 16, which is about plants. So I'm just going to read you this page. The heading's here. It says plants here. A huge forest of pine, fir and larch trees stretches across the north of Asia. Just move it forward so you can see it. Warm, wet rainforests grow in Southeast Asia. And this flower, which is called the let me say it correctly, the rafflesia, the rafflesia is a rainforest plant. It's a giant flower, and it is known as the biggest flower in the world. A bit like the Burj Khalifa, the building, it's the biggest building in the world. Well, Asia also has the biggest flower in the world. Interesting fact about this flower is it doesn't smell like a lovely, beautiful flower. It smells like rotting meat, which is a bit horrible. Anyway, I have had to miss out some of the pages from this book, but we will visit this book again because it is very interesting. So you could pause the video and go back to a page that you really enjoyed. You could have a go at writing your own book. You could have a go at writing a sentence and drawing a picture from your favourite part of the book I read. You might want to draw the flower and label it. There's lots of different opportunities for writing from what you've listened to and hear. So I hope you've learnt some new information from Introducing Asia, and I can't wait to see some of your work if you send your pictures to us. Okay, thank you for listening.